Hello everyone and welcome to the Paragon Open Beta launch event. My name is KL Smith. I'm joined here by Steve Superville, the creative director, and Kevin Abbott, our systems designer. After what seems like an eternity, 8 months,
ago. Yep.
an a closed online test phase that lasted a few months.
Yep.
6 months of early access.
Yep.
7 new heroes.
Lots of gray hairs.
Lots of gray hairs. 40 or more new cards being introduced. We are at the Paragon Open Beta free-to-play launch event.
Yep. It's been a fun road.
Yes.
And doing it all
fun.
in full sight. Hey, it's been fun. We get paid to make video games.
Fun,
It's a great life.
Yes.
Doing it in full sight of players and community and getting direct feedback, it's what we set out to do, and we've made it here.
Yeah. So today we have a jam-packed event for you guys. We have community members here that represent all facets of the Paragon community. We have Twitch streamers, we have YouTubers, we have folks from Reddit, we have folks from the forums, we have cosplay, everything under the sun for this event. So really special, big shout out to the community members that we have so far that we've built up over the course of the last 8 months, starting in December of last year up to this point. We love you guys. We're trying to make the best possible game that we can. Now, major announcement that I want to give you guys for this event. This is the very first time that we're actually doing this. A lot of hours of design work and discussion.
Yep.
Today we are debuting our Twitch API integration. So basically what you're going to need to do is link your Epic ID with your Twitch account. If you have not already done that and you're in the stream, you need to do that right now. You have an opportunity to win cool in-game rewards such as that Beetle Grux skin, the Scarab Beetle Grux skin, black or gold, only exclusive to being a gifted reward, and during the stream you're going to have an opportunity to win it. So it will be very interesting to see when those loot rolls start dropping and seeing what happens with the chat. For the schedule, like I said, we have a jam-packed day. We're going to start off with an AMA that we submitted over on Reddit, just to our Paragon subreddit. And us three are going to answer questions submitted by you guys, the community. So that will run about an hour or so. Then we're going to have Mooney. You guys know him from the dev streams if you're new. He is a community coordinator. He will be up here with Shane and Notch, Shane Lynch and Notch, do Agora Rising, one of the first community organized tournaments. Those two have been casting now for basically since early access started, and are now, I believe, on 8 or 9 Agora Rising tournaments. It's really great to see, the community kind of blossom around those guys, and see the interest in the game. And we also have Zeke Mateus, who voices a lot of our YouTube videos. So the voice from YouTube will be on to cast as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the AMA questions. We're going to start right on up and start answering questions for you guys. And when we are all done, we will bring on.
Oh man, that's cool.
All right, so the very first question we have is from Vasio Addict. He says, what was the main reason you decided to make this game cross-platform?
So when we started this, we wanted to make a highly competitive online game. And we didn't know it was going to be a MOBA, but we knew that when we made this game, we wanted to make it available wherever competitive gamers are. Mm-hmm. And they are on PC, they are on console. And so we did what we hoped was smart things, not knowing the future, to limit ourselves so we actually fit on controllers and stuff like that. And the one of the best experiences I've had is being able to travel around to community shows like PAX and have people come up and say, we love Paragon because I played MOBAs, but my friend was only a console player, and now we can play Paragon together and we play nonstop. And that happened half a dozen times. Whole groups of friends would come in and say how much fun they were having. And so that's exactly why we did it.
So, we had this question a little bit here from some of the community members that are out. Mm-hmm. What have been some of the challenges with, doing cross-platform?
Well, there's the first part are technical challenges of making sure the map is beautiful on console which is a solid, especially PlayStation 4 is a solid piece of hardware. And then also beautiful on people who have those, boss hog machines that they spend $6,000-8,000 to make them, and the game should show it off because it's Unreal Engine 4.
Right.
Sony has been a fantastic partner because they've allowed us to do cross-platform everything. So that it's cross-platform parties, cross-platform friends list, cross-platform progression. So if you buy a cosmetic like a skin, no matter which platform you play on, it is available to you, and that's the first time they've done that. And so our goal is to make it seamless. And I'm sure it'll come up. People will always ask about voice over IP, and I'd love to do voice over IP, but we'd have to make it cross-platform so that these friends who play together can actually talk to each other.
Okay. Next question.
I don't have audio.
What was the story behind the name?
Oh boy,
Paragon. So so naming the game was hard because naming things is really hard. It's one of the hardest things to do.
The hardest.
It is the hardest.
The hardest. There's no way everyone's leaving that room satisfied.
Someone's always sad. Yep. Somebody's always happy. So we went through basically months of exercises in naming, and what we ended up settling on were what we wanted our players to be, who we wanted to be, and how we wanted the game to be seen. And so as we worked through names, Paragon means a person of merit. And so we went, after going through hundreds of names.
Yes, hundreds.
We said that, in a nutshell, that's it. And it stuck, and our fantastic creative team came up with an awesome logo. And in November, we put it out in the teaser site.
Yeah.
And made people wonder, what are we doing?
What
are we doing? Yeah.
Not just the naming of Paragon, but naming in general for heroes, for some of the items in the game. There's a lot more process that goes into that than I think normal people would think about.
Yeah.
And here's an example. This is just a fun story for you guys, kind of relating to this. There was a tweet that we wanted to send out with a sparrow, I believe, for the teaser, and we deliberated about that tweet because it means so much to a lot of the devs on the team. It means so much to them that we spent 2 hours talking about that.
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
For 140 characters. So, the guys on the team really care about the names, the assets, the product that we're putting out, and just taking the time to do things like that is.
Yeah. Well, if we think about it, it's 140 characters, but every eyeball that sees it multiplies it. So it's the more people who are going to see a tweet like that, especially when we're early and everybody's like, "What is this?
What is this?"
We got to be deliberate about what we want to say.
Right. Next question we have. This one is from the Russian community. This is over on VK. Again, global game. Do you have a roadmap for Paragon's game design? And what do you consider Paragon to be more of, a MOBA or a third-person shooter?
Right. So we are absolutely a MOBA. We have said from the beginning that we are making a MOBA experience, and it's not a hybrid.
When
it is going to be
to
all the things that make MOBAs great. It is the fantastic team fights, the progression that happens during a match, the strategy that happens when you come into team comps and draft mode. All of those things are what makes MOBAs great. And then it has an action element. So when we started this endeavor, one of the things we noticed as we researched competitive games and MOBAs were that the cinematic trailers of other games offer what we call the heroic fantasy. Mm-hmm. They were beautiful and over the top, and they made you emotionally engaged with the story that they were telling you. And then the gameplay that you play once they get you into the game is different. They're great games, but the two things are divergent. And we thought with our pedigree of being Epic Games and making action games like Gears of War and Unreal Tournament, we can bring those two things closer together and get that emotional response, not just in the trailer, but actually in the game when you're playing Steel and you dunk an entire team and then you charge them into a tower. It is a different feeling.
Right. From a game design standpoint, Kevin, how do you guys kind of approach, from all the designers, how do you guys kind of approach how you want to do design for Paragon? Is there a general thought for heroes, for example?
So a lot of important parts about the MOBA are really about kind of the meta of the game, mm-hmm. and whether it's first person or third person, a meta of the game needs to be sort of consistent. You can see things like you see when you actually play it, you're playing a third person or a first person guy, right? Basically, right?
Right.
It's a shooter, so it has to feel good to play the character.
Right.
But also we have to keep in mind things like, all right, what's the effective range of this hero, versus similar heroes? There's a lot more rules. And there's a lot of challenges there in terms of when my projectile falls off, but there has to be rules to make the meta consistent.
Okay. Next question. Oh, Winkbane, and I'm sorry if we talked about this before. We did our Reddit AMA, the actual one. If I murk your name, I apologize. I'll do my best to say these names. Are the red, blue, black, and prime buff minions the final models, or will we see them changed, updated as the game progresses?
No, we will see them changed and updated
Very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to see the Orb Prime Guardian mesh and effects.
Yes.
In art review.
Yeah.
And they are our art team. They're ridiculous. It is spectacular. So, as being an open live game, we are going to continue treating it like a beta. We will be bold. We make changes, and things will just continue to get better, including as we get to new features in Unreal Engine. So as we go through the months and we get new features, we'll totally make use of them in Paragon and just keep making the game great.
Yeah. Fun fact: if you are currently playing right now on live, you go to the jungle camps, red, I think in the black buff, maybe even blue. You can see some of the effects coming in.
Yeah.
So you can tell something is coming.
Something's changing.
Something is coming. So yeah, those are definitely placeholder. We'll have those updated.
I'll add on something, probably get in trouble for it, but not just the models. We want to give those guys a lot more personality too. So sometimes the gameplay around them will change a little bit in the future. But yeah, just watch out for that.
All right. Next question.
The suspense is killing me.
This name. Dunamispia Dynami.
Good.
That sounded perfect.
Nailed it.
I think
Thank you.
Yeah,
I hope you
that's
guys
proper dialect too. Really good job.
Any word on implementation of epic cards or legendaries and more useful rares?
They are coming. And that's the word. We are evaluating our card system and basically planning for changes that we're going to work on the next month or two. And they're coming.
So there's actually a week-long event starting this week, and I'll add to that. We're introducing epic rares in the 30.2 update. And so as of right now, and for those of you that have been with the community for a while, if it's your first time, this is be the first event that you get to do this. But there are 2 hashtags that if you spend time viewing a stream on Twitch of Paragon that have these hashtags, whichever hashtag wins with the most view time, everyone in the community, I believe that played during the week, will receive the card, the epic rare cards. So the 2 cards are Empyrean Mask and Stab Link.
The competition is going to be fierce for these 2, I feel like.
Yes.
It's
So
come down to the wire.
Mooney will have more about what the cards do specifically, but wanted to throw that out there. Let's go on to the next question. Oh, Hadrosaur Hero. What do you guys think? That sound right?
Sure.
Hadrosaur Hero.
Yes.
Yeah. The Hadrosaur, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Is there a possibility of a new affinity ever being added, or is that not in the future plans?
So
not in the future plans.
Not in the future plans. No. It would take a lot to add a new affinity. Mostly because we try to keep the affinities in terms of number of cards roughly equal, and so one new affinity would be 70,
a lot of cards,
brand new cards.
Right.
We'll probably just grow the affinities and just keep evolving the system as we add new gameplay features.
So I had a question on this because I don't think it's actually listed in these ones. The process of creating the original affinities.
Yeah.
How long did it kind of take, and what was the process for just kind of getting through that?
Yeah, so it took months because first time we've made a game like this, and we're going to have some missteps. So we started working on the card system way back in August, and it went well. We came up with some interesting ideas, but we didn't have a good foundation, so we kind of moved that aside and then started with new foundation again. And the affinities are there to provide personalities for the characters. They Red is fury, and it's about passion and speed and like impulsive decision making and that sort of thing. Corruption is about being dark and
basically making it so you have an unfair advantage in a situation. Yeah.
Kevin doesn't play corruption characters, so he doesn't like corruption cards.
Okay.
And so each of the heroes has a personality, and their personality is kind of grafted on top of affinities, which adds even more flavor. And we have lore coming that we'll talk about affinities and how they work in.
We released some lore tidbits. I think there's a couple lore questions in here.
I'm sure there are.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, should be good.
Granny Grux.
Granny Grux. Hashtag Granny Grux. Next question. This is from Mud, who's actually here at the event. She said, are you guys going to continue with teleporting idea or do something completely different? Now, we actually released an update, was that last week or the week before, giving a more of a clear picture of where we're at with travel mode, kind of talking about that. If you're new, you'll get to play with travel mode, but it's going away. Steve, I'll let you kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so the fun and hard part about working on a live game and full view of the audience is we'd like to be open and transparent and tell people the things we are intending to try. And sometimes those things don't work out. So we tried teleport inside Agora with removing travel mode, and it was really rough. Like game times were really long.
Yep.
It's less engaging to move around the environment, that sort of stuff. And so we had to take a step back and reevaluate. And we have a future plan that we're working on, and we'll be talking about when we're more sure that that's the direction that we can go.
Right.
It just didn't work out the way we wanted. So we're going to keep teleport. We're probably going to move towards
Keep travel mode.
Sorry, keep travel mode for now, and then keep teleport on Portal Stone, which is the card that you can use to teleport. And we're evaluating reducing the price and allowing people to teleport to friendly structures and stuff like that. So, I mean, as an example, one of the challenges we ran into with teleporting was we wanted people to be able to use it to move around the map, but because it was linked to structures, as the match went on, structures would be destroyed, and so you had less opportunity to teleport. Which when you're trying to end a match, you need more opportunity to move around the map. So we just have to work through issues like that.
Okay.
Live development.
Yeah. We go through lots of iterations. Next question. Mexican 5243 Sparrow asks.
Clearly a Twin Blast player.
Will rooting come back to travel mode? Sparrow's piercing shot was useful as you could root running targets. Now it's more of a gentle slap. Right now it seems like it's easier to run around. So what are your thoughts on rooting?
So we removed rooting because we found that basically only brand new players were being rooted. Right. So they were being punished by it, and it was hard to understand why they were being rooted. And the more experienced players almost never got rooted. Yeah. And it was just it's a rough experience. And when we have running a live game, when we have large groups of new people come in, like for PS Plus and now for Open Beta, we want to make the game fun for them. Right. It shouldn't be fun just when you're 100 hours in and you know that if you tap left mouse button or right trigger right before you get shot, you come out and you don't get rooted. So we removed it, knowing that it would make the experience better for brand new players, and knowing that we intend to fully remove travel mode. Right. So we're not going to iterate on the current travel mode because we'd rather dedicate those resources to the future things that we're sure are a better solution.
Okay. Let's see who we have next. Spinner12 asks, will a hero that needs a lot of mechanical skill come soon? And how much time do we need to wait for one of them? Also, will Steel get a rework on his shield? That's a loaded question.
Yeah, that is a loaded question. Let's unpack that one. Yeah.
Kevin, how do you kind of feel about the mechanical skill of heroes? I think there's if you talk to us internally, there's things like Richter.
Yeah.
We consider Richter to be very mechanically skilled player or hero. How do you kind of feel about the cadence of how we kind of look at heroes and evaluate kits?
So the longer we develop the game and the farther along we get with our technology and kind of our goals, there's going to be heroes that require more knowledge of the game that kind of evolve out of how people are playing the game. Right. So I would fully expect that there'll be higher skill characters. I think is what people are talking about. But also people should keep in mind that There's lots of different kinds of skill. There's mechanical skill in terms of like just landing all your hooks and making sure you last really well, and then there's how you move around the map. There's lots of stuff to consider here. So we'll try and make room for all those heroes. I mean, I think players should expect that from us for sure.
And then how much time do we need to wait? I mean, every 3 weeks we release
every 3 weeks.
Hashtag every 3 weeks.
Hashtag every 3 weeks.
Free heroes.
Yep. You can expect a new hero, for those of you new, every 3 weeks. And every 3 weeks, the meta kind of shifts and sways because
shifts is a light way of saying it.
Yeah, ebb and flow.
Yeah.
But every 3 weeks we release a new hero, so you can kind of, we have the next hero coming out on Tuesday of next week.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where every time we release one, you kind of hear people say, okay, well, I can do this, 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 and this.
Right.
And then team comps kind of shift, and so I think over time people will be very impressed with what's coming.
I hope so.
I hope.
Yeah.
And then we'll still get a rework on his shield. I'm assuming he's talking about the shield block. Okay.
Yeah.
Because his shield has 2 shields, just for clarification. So I'm assuming he's talking about the shield block. Have we talked about that anymore?
We've talked about it. It's been improved vastly from some of our early on online tests.
Right.
That's
something we'll continue to evaluate as we go.
Yeah,
looking at heroes and things like that.
The hard part about abilities like the RMB or bumper shield is it requires teamwork.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a if you're playing Steel as a brawler, you might not use it that much. If you're playing him as a support and a crowd controller,
your body blocking.
Your body blocking. You can use it to tank some shots for your ranger who's behind you.
Yep.
You can use it to make space for Gideon so he doesn't get stunned out of his ult. Like there's a bunch of ways to make use of it.
It's an excellent bait tool too.
Yeah,
like sitting there in front of somebody with low health and trying to get him to kill you while your team comes along works every time.
Yeah, it's a great delay tactic.
It's a very good delay tactic.
I hear some shots.
It's just in terms of abilities, it's not as sexy as his dunk or his charge, but it's very useful. And so if you watch really high skill players like guys in Nagor's Rising, they put great use to it.
Okay. Next question. This is from Mexican 524 Sparrow again. He said, any more teases on tier 3 to 4 skins? I know it's very unlikely as legal issues, but what is Nathan Drake's skin, Uncharted fan there, is possible for Twin Blast? Well, I can tell you that's probably not likely.
Probably not likely.
But any more teases on tier 3 and 4 skins? I don't know if what are teases?
Yeah,
it might just release them. I don't know if
I mean, we will, as we get closer to having tier 3 and tier 4 skins, we will always tease them, but they'll be visual. Like it's not going to be interesting for us to talk about them.
Yeah. I mean, there's cool stuff coming. I would say, with the community members that are out, they've seen some of the upcoming skins we're working on, and
there were a couple oohs and ahs.
There was a couple. Yeah. So I think the team needs to feel comfortable with showing the assets at a much larger scale before we actually do something like an official tease. But they're coming. We're working on them for sure. Next question. Cautious asks, when will a competitive playlist be added? Also, will the ELO rating be similar to that on Agora GG? Now, Agora GG is a community organized site. They're using our API. We have, and I didn't mention this, we have API developers out. Kyle, who actually does Agora GG, is actually here at the event. You guys will get to see him play. So, and Jamie Shepard, he also does Reddit, Discord, and he's at the event as well. He does Paragon GG, also API developer. So I'm just kind of rabbit holing on the API thing. We really care about those things and seeing those guys flourish and be able to do the things that they want to do to be successful within the Paragon community. In terms of,
early on we realized as we were having a conversation about making this game, it was do we want to do everything ourselves? And there are way more community members who are passionate and will come up with better ideas than we will if we just give them the tools. And so we've driven towards doing that for Community API, for the replay system when people have great plays. Some of the videos that come out of Epic are really high quality, but the videos that come out of the community, there are so many that are equal quality and people are just passionate. And so they put music tracks to them. One of my favorite is slow motion Paragon fights. They just one of the fight where Gideon drops the meteor on somebody, and they zoom up into
and you see the
universe, through the portal. It's fantastic, and so we're going to continue to drive towards crowdsourcing because we believe our community is they're just better than what we can do.
Okay. And in terms of the actual question, when will a competitive playlist be added?
You want to actually answer the question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, kind of talking about the community. So competitive playlists, I think we have a lot of ideas about what we like to do.
Yep.
There's a couple things that we've discussed in the past, like number of heroes, right? Before we start considering what the term competitive or even ranked for that matter.
Yep.
And kind of decreasing the ability or completely eliminating the ability to have mirror matches, very important as part of the heroes.
Right.
And then in terms of playlist, one of the things I think we're really focused on is not introducing too many playlists too soon.
Right.
Because we don't want to fragment our audience to only focus on one playlist or the other playlist. So there's a lot of consideration that we have going, but I can tell you guys that we have a lot of ideas, and maybe making some headway on a couple.
Yep.
So
do you want to talk about?
Yeah, sure. One of the ones that we're thinking about is an idea around specific nights. So we codenamed this. It was me, Colin Fogels, and Steve, and a couple other people. But right now, codename is Hot Nights.
Hot Nights.
Hot Nights is the codename for this playlist. But the idea behind it is essentially on, let's say, a Wednesday, from a set time to a set time, you come into the playlist and you can earn up to, I think it's 2 rewards or two points for completing matches. So completing a match gets you 1 point, winning a match gets you 2 points, and throughout each week you accumulate those points, and then at the end of the season or league, you would get in-game rewards.
Right.
And throughout that time, you can spend, some of those points on in-game items. So I won week 1. Oh man, there's this cool thing I want to get. You can purchase that. So that's what we're kind of thinking about. The playlist again would only be for one night for a specific time period. You could only play 2 matches max, and then it would disappear so that we don't kill off the other playlists. So that's something that we're thinking about. There you go.
Devil's always in the details. So just like teleport, things may
change.
Things may change.
Those are ideas.
But a lot of those ideas are inspired by what we read on Reddit and what we read in the forums and what people tweet to us. So if you guys have feedback about that idea or what you'd like to see in ranked play, when we get enough heroes to actually support ranked play, we are actively engaging in conversations about them now and compiling our ideas and figuring out the path forward.
Playlist reveal. Next question. NASCOR asks, can we expect to be able to support Paragon esports with stuff like skins, special packs, digital tickets, esports season passes, etc.? You want me to tackle this one? You want to?
I'll tackle this one. So we are still focused on making a highly competitive game, right? I mean, we've said from the beginning that our job is to make Paragon the best MOBA that it can possibly be, and the community will let us know when they think we are ready for esports. And so as we continue to make the game better and better month over month, and it's so, like, at dinner last night, we were just talking about like how different Paragon is from 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
Yep.
So 6 months from now, it'll be a different
game. Yep.
What we're looking for is community events like Agor's Rising, the Gameaholics Paragon Beatdown in Germany. We have multiple Russian tournaments happening now, and so as the community continues to do these things, we will start to gear up and do our best to support them.
Right.
As far as like custom content for that remains to be seen. Like, we have our work cut out for us to get to that competitive spot.
When we get there.
Yeah, it's one of those things. We'll see if we get there. We're hoping the community really embraces of the game, and they want to see that sort of blossoming, emerging competitive spirit of esports. There's a lot of thought going into that. I think one of the first things you mentioned is supporting community organized tournaments and competitions. The other factor for us, at least, is trying to figure out where we fit in terms of like rules,
right?
How we kind of approach those things. So one of the things that we initially want to propose, and we'll see how some of the tournament organizers feel about this, is universal rule setting. So that's as far as we've kind of gone right now, and we have more plans depending on what happens, but that's kind of the first step for some of the community organized stuff. Let's go to the next question. Can you tell us anything about a new character?
He's coming.
Hoff TV. He is coming.
Yeah, is coming.
It's already too much information.
Yeah, there you go.
He's banging.
Oh, God.
He's banging. He's banging. So next question. Pikaday is back again. Are you looking to make a trailer such as the reveal trailer for actual release? Hey, what did we open up with?
Yep.
Hey. So we opened up with the open beta trailer. Fantastic job from the video production team, the capture team, art team, for everybody for coming, everyone coming together to make that trailer possible. And that was just for you guys. We'll show it some more.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll show up again during the day.
Yep. But in terms of official release, I mean, we're not even that far out yet. We got to get through beta, but I would imagine there will be more fantastic.
We're still standing.
Whimsical.
Yes. We're still alive.
Trailers being released. Next question. The Russian community asks, do you have plans for new maps other than Agora?
We would love to do new maps. So one of the biggest challenges is matchmaking times. People hate long matchmaking times, and certainly when we were online tests and our population was super small, that was one of the constant criticisms of the community. Like, matchmaking times are long. And so what we're very conscious of is, again, not fragmenting the community with multiple playlists. The nice thing about content like Heroes is if a new hero comes out and you like that hero, we can still play together. If new content comes out and you prefer one map over another, and that's what always happens in every competitive game is that has multiple maps, is the community will highlight, the one map that is the most competitive, and then the other ones, that one takes 80%, and the other, however, N, right, take the other 20%, kind of divide amongst. And the more there are, the less they get played. And so as we build our community going into open beta, we will have more space to offer things like the competitive playlist that you talked about, where not everybody is in the same matchmaking queue all the time.
Right. Kevin, for you, just kind of go on this question a little bit more. What was like the process of us creating Agora?
It changed a lot, obviously. There's got to be room for art. There's room for, I don't even want to know. The first time I played the game was completely different, let's just say. The process for the map is we really have to get behind it, and it has to be developed kind of in synchronization with the meta, or else you can run into a lot of problems in terms of like how long it takes to get from someone to another. Some of those problems the community's probably well aware of. We're dealing with trial mode things right now still. Just trying to, they should really be developed at the same time. That's what we're going to continue to try and do.
Next question. Wizardmon asks, how is MMR calculated? I don't think we can go into the specifics of that, but what % of matches are actually balanced, and do you have any data? There was actually a blog.
Yeah, there's
I was going to say, didn't we just do one of those?
And I don't know if it goes into the granular specifics of how MMR is calculated, but she's released 3 blogs that are on our website. So this is one of those questions where the exact information is very detailed on blogs.
Right.
We showed,
and we are open about it.
And we are.
We have multiple matchmaking blogs as our progress has kind of moved through the early access phase.
We have the actual percentage of matches actually balanced. We showed that in the second blog that she did, and that was around the time of Team Builder, which it was like 45, 55 split was a certain percentage.
Yep.
And then, do you have any data? Yes, it's over on Paragon.com, and you guys can search. I want to say it's in announcements on the section. If you go to news, and you'll find Catherine Varner, aka El Ray.
Yep.
She streams quite a bit. She will answer all the MMR questions that she possibly can when she's streaming and on. Hit her up.
Yep. Next question.
Next question. Oh, we got Sparrow back again.
Yeah.
Are the remaining heroes out of the 39 planned going to be released in a specific order that has already been determined, or do you guys release heroes randomly based on whenever they are finished? So I'm going to let you answer this real quick. I want to add that there was a point in time when we were just releasing where we needed to assets needed to be kind of prioritized, and then I think as we get a rhythm and cadence, it'll get much better.
Much better.
But I'll let you answer that in depth.
Yeah. So the process of releasing a hero is pretty long. You know, our heroes are high fidelity, and so art has a long pipeline that kind of leads out before a hero is fully polished and released. And so we have a schedule that takes us well out into December of next year.
Right.
The heroes are planned at least on paper, and up through certainly the end of this year, where heroes are being prototyped and actively worked on and played with. The pipeline that we have, because we are learning how to make this type of game, we are learning a lot of lessons. And so early on, the pipeline is pretty compressed. And we are hitting heroes basically exactly when we need to. And I mean, community members were saying one of the things they love is the pace of change. And so lots of times a hero will come out and we think he plays a particular way, like Chimera, and we didn't anticipate some of the things that happen in the wild with community members trying all sorts of different things.
Right.
And, you know, he gets fixed really quickly, and now it is a favorite hero of Thomas, who I was talking to last night. So that's the pipeline, and the hardest part is we are really aggressive in our hero cadence, because we know to be the most competitive game that we can be, we need a diverse hero roster, and so we put Kevin under the gun quite a bit to get balance right and make changes. But it doesn't account for just life things. You know, lots of times heroes get switched around. I'd prefer if it was a well-oiled machine, but we are at max capacity, and so when people get sick or they do selfish things like have babies, you know, things like that, you know, it's the things get moved around, and we have to adjust. But we are committed to hero every 3 weeks, you know, all playable for free, and we're now, you know, seven heroes in, 20 weeks.
In. 8 is next week. So
and we've stuck the landing each time. So
we're
just gonna keep doing that. Just keep doing that.
Kevin. Next question. Hold that door. He asks, will we see more hero diversity in terms of abilities in the future? I'm gonna answer that question first. And then, will current heroes have a kit reworks and have passives reintroduced into the current and future heroes? Again, that's quite a bit there to digest. Kevin, first off, hero diversity.
It's really important. A lot of these other games, when they're developing new heroes, you know, they fill out their matrix, right? And they're kind of just like really experimenting with new things. And a lot of that is because, you know, they've had a lot of time to develop the game. They see how players are using heroes. They know how their tech works really well. And as we kind of like see people see the game really take shape, Paragon, I mean, we can expect to see more consistency in terms of like, all right, this is a mechanic that it's new, but it also fits really well with the game. Rather than just introducing really complicated mechanics before they have, you know, a place in the game, we'll kind of see what's missing and what works really well and what plays really well. So the longer we develop the game, the more heroes we release, the more diverse a hero is going to get for sure.
Right, and to kind of go on your point about tech and abilities that we introduced, Richter was the first hero that had a silence, right? And so I remember Cameron was kind of talking about this. It's like, hey, we put silence in the game, and now we know how it works and functions. And so, you know, if we release another hero that happens to have silence or some other ability like that, then it's like, okay, well, that was the first hero that we used to establish.
You learn a lot from that, and then you get to
exactly right. So it's very iterative in that. You know, once we release a hero that does something for the first time, it's like we're learning just as much as the community just kind of, okay.
A lot of times we'll get these new mechanics that actually don't work really well in Paragon compared to like a top-down game or something like that, right? So it's important to kind of keep that tight and kind of grow it as you understand the game better.
And then will current heroes have kit reworks and have passives
reintroduced to current and future heroes.
Current and future heroes. So kit reworks are that's ongoing.
We are doing every 3 weeks, so I think, you know, eventually we'll get to a point where we can kind of revisit these other heroes as well. But until every 3 weeks ends, never, from what I'm told. So,
not never, just infrequently.
I think we've done 3 hero, not necessarily retool their kits, but we've done some major rebalances. You know, Grux, Fang Mao,
Kalari.
had a big kit rework. Rampage
Yep.
had a kit rework.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you know,
just the last update, Gideon's Meteor now
Meteor,
became
right.
spike
Yeah.
damage
So
instead of damage over
it's
time.
definitely something that we look at data, we look at how players are playing, we look at feedback,
Yeah.
and the design team kind of puts their heads
Yep.
together.
Well, one of the challenges is because our hero roster is pretty limited. People are looking; they're seeing holes,
Right.
and they're going, "There's a hole here. How come? Like, let's take this character and move him over there to
Yeah.
fill that hole."
Right.
Exactly.
And our pipeline will fill that hole. Like a hero
Right.
every 3 weeks
Yep.
is again aggressive. So those holes will start to get filled. And if you play the shell game of moving heroes around, it's destabilizing to
Just
the
make another
meta.
hole.
Yeah, you move the hole
Yeah.
to a different spot,
Right.
and you confuse players. And so what we'd like is a well-defined role and strengths for a particular hero and well-defined weaknesses, and then use our hero roster that's coming up as we release new
Right.
heroes to fill those spots.
And then passives being reintroduced. I don't think they're coming back.
Yeah. Well, so
Not in the way
Yeah.
that
not in the way of like every hero must have one and they must
yeah.
be
Right.
consequential. Let's be realistic here. But yeah, no, we do have passives in the game, right?
Yep.
They're on abilities when we think they fit well, right?
Yep.
We're just not going to force ourselves to put on passives or tack them on or whatever, right? So
Right.
you can still expect things like that.
Next question. The computer mates steel.
I don't even know.
Computer
Underscore, man.
The computer mate steel asks, will there be any special limited rewards for players that played the pre-released closed beta?
So
Stuff
early
about
access.
Early access.
Yes. So we have some fun features coming up
Yeah, we'll talk
Which-
about those later tonight.
later today. And our plan is to reward people who have been with us early with these new features, and they have the head start.
Yeah.
And so we value the lessons that they helped us learn.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a couple more things. I mean, we did like some of the rewards that we've given out. I want to say like the Sparrow versus Murdoch,
Mhm.
right? The Monarch Murdoch. Like those might come back, but we released those during early access, and they're still in the bank. Like we could use them again, but for those people that participated in that time,
Yep.
that's exclusive to them. Anyone that bought the Masters Founders Pack, or I believe the Challenger might be Masters only, got the Hot Rod Howitzer.
Yeah. Challenger and Master.
Challenger and
Founders
Master.
packs. Mhm.
So
Hot Rod
there's a
Howitzer. Right.
couple exclusive skins that kind of happen, and we'll continue to add a couple more things here and there, but it will stop eventually.
Yes.
So next question. L biggest gadget. Okay, that's what I'm
Good, man.
going with.
Yeah.
Can we have card points counter on the deck manager, basically deck builder? This question comes up quite a bit.
It does. Yeah.
If Shimbari was here, he'd tell you he wants it very badly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have any more insight on that.
I don't. It's just the UI team has their own schedule and it's in the priority stack. I just don't know where. There's the hard part, and people always ask me, especially as we got closer to open beta, like, how happy are you with the game? It's like, I'm a designer. I'm never happy. It's not.
Right.
It's not a fair question.
There's no win.
Yeah. So we want to improve basically everything in the game. We have ideas to improve, and now it's just the priority stack
Priority,
game.
time,
Mhm.
all that stuff. To kind of add to that, we've changed deck builder
Two times.
Two times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
2 times so far. So, as the team finds out more data, whether it be UX or otherwise from community,
Mhm.
they'll continue to iterate and try to improve upon it the best they can.
Yeah, we just can't do all the things
Yeah.
all at the same time all the time.
Or we can try and then not do
Yeah.
some things very
Yeah.
poorly.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's the sacrifice. Now, next question. Real Trendy is very frequent on Reddit. I see you, Trendy. Shout out to Trendy for submitting a question. Are there goals to be, are there going to be any more community events like the one that was done in Berlin and North Carolina previously? I'd love to be able to go to something like those someday. Pipe dream. Not a pipe dream. I'm going to tell you that not right now, because we're doing an event right now.
Mhm.
Trendy, you're not here. Don't act like I don't want to act like I don't notice that you're very frequent over there, post a lot of great stuff. We have limited capacity that we can do at Epic. I think as we continue to release more games as we continue to grow each game's communities. You'll see perhaps larger scale events in the future, but we will do the best of our ability to continue to hold community events that people can participate in, like going to PAX and having a presence there, or going to some of the other shows out there, E3s or wherever, DreamHacks, things like that. So there would be an opportunity to meet and greet and talk to the Epic devs and the Epic team and other other Paragon community members. But we can't give you any specific details on when the next one is. We're kind of planning those out as of right now.
So one of my favorite things about the community is it's self-sustained. It's just that virtuous cycle and so Kia was saying on Reddit was saying, hey, I'm going to be at Gamescom. Who wants to meet up? Right? And so people have already self-organized. We have Russian community managers, and they've shown us communities in Russia have gotten together to play Paragon together, and they send screenshots and put it on VK, and it's.
And the next community event that we're actually we'll be at PAX. So I'll answer that question. We'll be at PAX, and we will also be at Igramir in Russia. And there's a very special treat there. So I'm gonna not spoil it for anybody, but anyone from Russia should go to Igramir. Next question. Riddler92 asks, are there any chances that some players are being false positive on bans? I can kind of answer that one more.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, it's
so for the community, we regularly look at this. I think we have approximately 200 or maybe 300 total bans. And Danny Block actually posted the number before our latest ban wave of several million players. That's not a lot by any means.
No.
Yeah.
That's not a lot. So, we're looking at things on a case-by-case basis. We're still figuring things out. But as of right now, we don't believe that there are any false positive bans, and the numbers make it very difficult for us to make that argument. Otherwise, if there were false positives, we'd probably see a lot more bans.
Well, the challenge we have is often there's always the mix. There's the people who are curious,
right,
and there are people who are fishing for information,
right.
It's hey, how do you know it's not a false positive? Tell me more information so I can figure out how to work around your detection,
right.
Particularly for cheating. And the answer is no.
Yeah.
No. We are. I am personally constantly asking. Are we sure? Have we checked this? Have we checked that?
Yep.
And our engineers are fantastic, and they give me detailed information about what they have looked into and what the results are and how confident they are. And so that is going to have to be good enough for the people who are saying, please tell me how you detect cheats,
right?
Because that's not going to happen.
So hopefully that answers that question. We know we've seen that pop up quite a bit. Next question. Thizzle. I'm just going with Thizzle. All right, Thizzle. I'm shortening that one. Can we get the ability to customize our hero with in-game tools like recolors, decals, and possibly hats?
Hats.
No, that's not in the works. Largely, particularly for the decals and hats and stuff like that. One of the things as a competitive game we're concerned about is silhouettes. When I round the corner, I want to be able to know that's what that guy is going to do to me.
Right.
It's steel, and maybe it's a different steel skin, but it's still recognizable as steel.
Right.
And part of the thing we do, even as we have concepts for skins and stuff like that, I saw a skin concept for an upcoming hero, and it looked too close to the Fae. And it was like, we can't do that skin, because if you round the corner, you might think that's the Fae, and it's not. It's this other hero with the new skin. And so we're very conscious about stuff like that, particularly for a MOBA, which is different than a shooter like a Team Fortress 2, where it doesn't matter who it is, I'm going to shoot it with a rocket, and it's going to explode. And so we have to be aware of stuff like that. Recolors and decals, kind of the same thing. Skins have a visual language that people can identify and know, and the more that stuff changes, the more. However, what we will be talking about today later today are some cosmetic features that we have coming that will allow players to be more expressive on the battlefield.
I was waiting for you to. I was
waiting.
Yeah. I was
That's a good
waiting.
way to put it.
Next question. It's Pennington Rampage asks, do you have a plan for Paragon to go in the direction of esports. That's kind of similar to the other one.
Yeah.
And Steve kind of answered that. I think we are waiting to see if the community embraces the game and declares that they want to participate and be a part of that environment. There's a lot of community organized tournaments going on. Agora Rising, those guys are waiting to come on here shortly with Shane and Notch and
Paragon Masters,
and Gameaholics and some of the other tournaments that we've mentioned. We're watching them and actively seeing how the community is responding, and we're doing our best to support their efforts, and that's about as far as we can go as of right now. Our main focus, I think, is building a great game and hoping that you guys
hopefully the rest will come.
Enjoy it. But we're not pushing for esports at all in any capacity. Next question. NASCAR Steel, he had a previous question. Will you start an official tournament series, maybe in cooperation with ESL, MLG? Very similar to the esports question. We'll move on from that one.
You can go next.
Next question.
Next question.
Pennington Rampage asks.
Time Vortex.
Uh oh, that was backwards.
It's just DJ asks. Also, how soon till the more human characters get facial animations?
So they are coming. We are experimenting with facial rigs for characters in match. So as they start getting voices and they can start doing facial animation as they do their power moves, because no one faces stay stone when they dunk somebody. Yeah, that sort of thing. It was something we put off first because we needed the game to be performant, and we had a lot of technology push. Michael Noland, who's one of their coders who's in charge of performance, has done an heroic effort to actually allow people to play Paragon on the lower end of machines, because we can't expect everybody to have those $8,000 Boss Hog machines.
Right.
And then as we introduce more lore, our characters will start having more personality, and it's coming. Like we decided that core gameplay loop was the most important thing, and if we didn't stick that, all the other work would have been wasted effort. So we prioritized and focused, and now that stuff is coming on as players are enjoying the kind of core game experience.
Okay. We have one more question. And that is, Aspercio?
I know the second part of that.
Chimera.
It's Chimera.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
When will we get card crafting?
Not soon enough.
Not soon enough.
Yeah. No, it's one of the most wanted features, and I was laughing with the community people who are here because we were talking about card crafting, like, I don't have Shockwave, and I'm like, I don't have Shockwave.
Yeah.
Like, it's we've said from the beginning, kind of set this policy that Epic devs are part of the community. Yeah. So we don't get special things. We don't have skins that the community doesn't have unless we paid for it.
Yep.
The one thing that we got was Founders Packs. Like everybody got a Founders Pack, but
we purchased it.
But after that, we have cards because we play the game, and we've opened card packs. And we have cards because we play the game, and we've won rewards or participated in community events. So we all want card crafting just as much as everybody else, and it's coming. The UI team is actively working on it. I have an all-day meeting tomorrow where we talk about rewards and card crafting, and we'll be part of that. I don't have a timeline because I don't want to say it'll be this date and us get stuck in the devil in the details and miss that date, but ASAP.
Okay.
It's being worked on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
So before we sign off, I want to remind you guys that it's your opportunity, as of right now, to sign up for the Twitch API. Link your accounts with your Epic ID. If you've not already, please do so. For every 500 viewers, we're currently at 4.5K, closing in, we will do a roll for the loot table at the end of the match, and you'll have an opportunity to win a bunch of things, but one of those things is the Scarab Black.
Yep, the Onyx.
And the Gold Grux skin.
Grux skin, yep.
So if you've not linked your account, please do so. We have links popping in the chat as we go, and we will roll at the end of the show. So you'll want to stick around. You will want to stick around. So I hope you guys enjoyed this AMA.
I did.
It was fun.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good one. Got through a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to do another AMA again, more in official capacity, but we will do that again. When we return, we will have Nathan Mooney and Shane and Notch from Agora's Rising here to cast the community members that are here for the event, the special occasion of Paragon going open beta, free to play, and we will see you in a little bit.